Good afternoon or good morning wherever you're tuning in from today, and welcome to our first e-tail webinar of 2017, Using Site Search to Compete with Amazon, here from a leading retailer, sponsored by Unbxd. Now, thank you so much for everyone who's in attendance today, and while I've got your attention, I wanted to bring your focus to what's right in front of you, your console design. Now, you'll notice that on that main page, or as console, as I mentioned, it's kind of the little name that we give it, we've got quite a few windows for you to toggle around through. There's speaker information, there's a slide that's right in front of you, and there's a Q&A box. Now, keep in mind, you can definitely move these around, maximize them, minimize them, use it to your advantage and fit them to whatever screen or device you're able to connect with us today on. So just kind of wanted to point that out to you. And speaking of the Q&A box, you will notice that it should be, I believe, on the bottom right-hand side of your screen or left-hand side before you probably have adjusted them yet. And this is a very important tool that we're going to be using. We're going to try to save about 10 to 15 minutes or so at the very edge of the hour after the presentation for an open Q&A session. So at any point during the presentation, feel free to submit any questions you might have over to our speakers. As a practice round, type in and let us know where you're tuning in from. We'd really like to know, where you're located and just get some information from that. And so as we go through today's presentation, also wanted to let you guys know that we've got about 2 polls, I believe, set up for you. And just to let you know kind of the run-through, when they come up on your screen, just pick your response and simply hit submit. We do the rest from there. No need to worry about anything else. And so now we're going to move on to introducing our speakers for today. We're really excited to have these 2 on board. We're going to be hearing from Tiffany Fry of US Patriot Tactical, an e-commerce retailer who's been widely recognized as being very customer-centric and very smart and nimble in competing with Amazon. We're going to talk about how US Patriot is successfully using site search as a competitive lever. As the Director of E-commerce Marketing at US Patriot, Tiffany directs all of the online marketing. She also works to ensure that site visitors have a very engaging experience and that ultimately results in conversions. Also on the line, we have Manal Patel, the Senior VP and Chief Business Officer at Unbxd. Now, US Patriot uses Unbxd Site Search to power their search experience for its shoppers. At Unbxd, Manal helps e-commerce companies solve their product discovery problems and create growth by providing new and improved approaches to decision-making. He's a seasoned speaker at major e-commerce events like the ones that we put on, e-tail West, e-tail East, and also Fashion Digital and MivaCon, just to name a few. So we're really excited to get this webinar started, and I'm pretty sure you guys are, tired of hearing from me. So let's get to the real meat of the webinar. Off to you.
Thanks, Elise. So welcome everyone to our webinar, and we're going to talk about site search today. So why are we talking about site search? Site search can drive 20 to 40% of the site revenue. That is a significant portion, so makes site search a mission-critical component of the site. Over 30% of site visitors will prefer to use site search. They're used to this experience from Google and Amazon of searching and want to get to the products faster than clicking on the category pages. The third reason is the most important one. 80% of visitors will abandon a site after a poor search experience. So this was a search we ran for a brown leather belt on Nordstrom.com on January 3rd, 23rd. Shopper is searching for a brown leather belt. However, in the top search results, you can see a brown leather jacket, boots, and a bag, but no belts. Nordstrom's today has a sharp focus on e-commerce, which already drives over 20% of its total company revenue. It is investing heavily into e-commerce to drive growth and compete with Amazon. But shoppers cannot buy products if they can't easily find them. Results in the first fold are important because 40 to 45% of visitors will never scroll below the fold, and 90% of the visitors will not go to the second page. This example highlights the importance and the magnitude of the problem. Let me take a moment to introduce Unbxd. We are a SaaS-based product discovery platform for e-commerce. We power site search for US Patriot and many other online retailers of all sizes and industries. Our technology applies data sciences and machine learning to almost 1.5 billion interactions that we serve every month, which results in connecting shoppers to the products they are most likely to buy. I'd like to welcome Tiffany to this webinar. Tiffany, thank you so much for agreeing to share your experiences and learnings.
Thanks, Monal. It's my pleasure. Hello, everyone. I'm really excited for this opportunity to share what we've learned about customer experience and product discovery here at USP. So let me just start off first by telling you just a little bit about the company. We're honored to be the world's largest off-post retailer of military and tactical products, and we currently have 23 retail locations as well as our website. 80% of our employees, as well as the owners of the company, are military veterans or family of military. And we've also got some law enforcement employees as well. And we're growing very aggressively. I mentioned we have 23 stores. We're on track to open 8 more this year. So we're on a very steep growth trajectory. And we're very proud that Internet Retailers named us for 3 years in a row to their second 500 list. And that's where all the action is. E-commerce is usually perceived to be dominated by very large retailers. And in fact, the IR second 500 as a group is actually growing faster than the top 500. So we're very privileged to be included in that kind of company. And that growth that we have, I really feel that it's because our customers are our number one priority. So I just wanted to show, this is just a picture of the entrance to our corporate headquarters, and every single employee, from the president to the warehouse staff to our customer service team, every single employee that comes to work in the morning passes underneath this doorway. And this just serves as just a reminder of our laser focus on our customers, and that's really what drives our success and sets us apart from our competitors. So speaking of competitors, there are some differentiators that we concentrate on. Amazon is obviously a huge competitor. All of us online retailers have to deal with Amazon. But there are definitely some things that you can do to make yourself stand apart from Amazon. And what we really focus on is building customer loyalty and trust, not necessarily just driving sales. Sales come as a byproduct of loyalty and trust. So one of the first things that we do that sets us apart is exclusivity. We manufacture some of our own products, and then occasionally we'll actually buy out all the manufacturer's inventory of maybe a new product or a really hot product. So this gives us the competitive advantage of being able to offer items that nobody else can get. The second way that we set ourselves apart is our shipping and our return policy. So about 90% of our orders are shipped within 24 hours, and we offer a full 1-year return policy and free shipping both ways on exchanges. So we try to make it as easy as possible for customers to do business with us. We want them to be happy, and we want them to come back. The third thing that we do is we focus on SEO. And you might think, well, how is this really a competitive advantage that your customers appreciate? It really is when you boil down to it. I mean, obviously everyone wants to rank well on Google, and this is a topic. I mean, this could be a whole webinar in itself. But we've worked really hard on our catalog content to make it SEO friendly. Like SEO friendly catalog or web content is now also visitor friendly. Google has gotten very intelligent in the last few years. They understand that the difference between keyword stuffing and useful information. So if you put the time into having good content on your site, it helps with SEO, but it also helps sell the product. Content can be very tedious. It can be very expensive, particularly in e-commerce, when it's really easy to just copy a description from the manufacturer's website. We've rewritten every single description for every single product on our site. They all have unique descriptions. So, and then that also tied in with the PPC company that we work with. All of this work, it has us showing up on the search engine results pages. And research has shown if you have presence in both organic and paid search on the same page, that improves the conversion rates because it inherently creates this feeling of trust before the customer even gets to our website. A fourth differentiator is our catalog size. We currently have over 60,000 SKUs on our website, and we add new products. We add about an average of 100 new products per week. So we're constantly adding new things, and we even try new product categories. Our typical products, about 80% of what we sell are military boots, and then we sell a lot of uniforms and other type of gear, backpacks, helmets, those things. But we try other product categories, things like soap, barbecue sauce, these little niche products that they make us unique in the space because our competitors don't sell them. And these little sidelines that we add in are veteran-owned companies. So we support veterans in this way as well. Not all these products are successful, but our customers really appreciate, you know, being able to find unique things on our site, and they appreciate that we support veterans. And then the last competitive advantage that we have, and we have a lot actually, but for this list of 5, is the on-site experience. We spend a lot of time A/B testing things. Right now we've got 4 different A/B tests running on the site between the mobile and the desktop versions. We take those results, we tweak, we test. We're constantly trying to make that experience on the site better. Number 1, we want to make it easier for our customers to use it, which leads to number 2, which is driving conversions. So we have a 1% increase here from this test, maybe 2% from that test. When you're constantly tweaking things, those little percentages, they add up over time. But one of the biggest improvements that we made was adding a better search and navigation tool. That tool was Unbxd, and I'll actually show you in just a second how big that impact was. A couple slides from now, we'll actually show you what the results were. But I promise you it was far greater than 2%. So a few years ago, we moved from the community edition of Magento over to BigCommerce. So our site is running on BigCommerce right now. When we made that change, we immediately saw improvements in some areas. We didn't even really have to do anything. Our organic results went way up. Time on site went up. Conversion rate went up just from the different navigation, and we had some issues with duplicate content from Magento, so that went away. So some of these issues that we had were taken care of. That allowed us to focus more on the customer experience on the site. And search was one of those target areas that we really wanted to improve, since shoppers who search have a much higher purchase intent and a much higher conversion rate than shoppers who don't use the search functionality. And actually, we want to enable this valuable segment of shoppers and make their journey through the site real easy. So I'm going to dive into now our top 4 search and merchandising tactics that are working for us. Okay, so relevance. This is the number 1 priority for search. There's nothing even comes close to this as being the most important. So you have to make sure you have technology in place that really focuses on search relevance. It's critical, because if shoppers cannot find what they're looking for, they cannot buy it. So I'm going to show you real quick. So here are side-by-side 2 very obvious examples of why we needed better search functionality on our website. So on the left, that is a screenshot of one of our smaller websites. It's Patriot Surplus. On the right is our main site, US Patriot Tactical. Both of these sites run on BigCommerce. Both of these sites use the same product catalog. There's a few exceptions, but there's a huge overlap in the catalog. But if you take a look at the search results, you see that they're very different. I typed in, and I did this yesterday, so this is fresh. I typed in Sage Air Force boot in each website, and these are the results. So the Patriot Surplus site on the left is not running Unbxd. It's just using the default BigCommerce search tool. So you can see at a glance how terrible these results are. There's hats, socks, tan boots, brown boots, shirts. Oh, look, orange booty shorts. It's definitely not meeting the shopper's intent of Sage Air Force boot, and it is definitely not relevant. The US Patriot site on the right, this is running Unbxd technology, it hits the bullseye with these search results. Every product that shows up meets those criteria. It is a boot, first of all. Second of all, it's a Sage boot. But there's lots of Sage boots that we sell that aren't Air Force compliant. So these are also Air Force boots. And this relevancy is absolutely critical to making the customer's experience on the site a good one and driving those conversions. So let's talk about search terms. You can advance the slide. Thank you. Okay, so search terms. So shoppers, they search in a lot of different ways. And the technology that you're using really needs to understand their intent. And it has to be useful for all these different types of queries. And if you look at this list, these are some of the query types that shoppers might use. So the first two on the list, the product and feature type, those queries make up the vast majority of shopper searches. So you want to focus your attention first on getting those right and then move on to the others. So other queries like exact match or maybe a non-product search like your return policy or your shipping page, they're not as performed as often, but they still need to show relevant results. And all of this needs to work out of the box. You know, we don't have time to sit there and manually map search terms, put in a million different synonyms, put in all these potential misspellings, abbreviations. I mean, our customers are in the military. Every single thing has an acronym. So, you know, the system needs to figure this out on its own. It needs to be self-learning or machine learning. Those types of systems are ideal for this purpose. Can move on to the next slide. Okay, thanks. So the key really here for relevance is that the search platform, it needs to understand intent from the query, and then it has to map it all on its own to the right products. And I think that's a lot harder than it sounds. I mean, if you look back at, you know, a couple of slides ago with our Patriot Surplus site, in our brains, it makes a lot of sense. Sage Air Force boot, how hard is that? But for machine learning or for the systems that are bringing up the search results, it's really actually not that easy. The queries need to be broken down, and the technology needs to understand that boot is the product type, Sage and Air Force are the product attributes. They don't want to see Air Force uniforms or Army boots. You know, they really want to see what they're looking for. So here, I'll show you another example here. So we've got a lot of shoppers on our site. They search for color variants of products. And color is really critical on our site. Being that our audience is primarily military, the military has very, very exact uniform requirements. So a customer is not going to come on the site and search for olive boots if they really need Sage boots. So those terms aren't necessarily interchangeable, but maybe if they search for something more vague like green pants, we want to show them all of the possible green pants because we don't know, do they want olive or sage, because green is a much broader term. But if they are more specific and they type in olive pants or sage boots, we don't want to show the other colors of green. They were real specific with which color they wanted. This is a bit unusual for a retailer. You know, your typical clothing retailer, if someone types in red dress, or crimson dress. Red is red for the most part in a lot of fashion and clothing vendors. But for us, color is actually one of those things that's very specific. So Unbxd was able to understand that and, take care of that need for us right out of the box. So the second way that we work on this is by shortening the path to purchase. This leads to higher conversion, and of course, search is no exception to this rule. So, excuse me, we want to be able to show search results right away. This is our search box here. So we have really seen significant growth in our conversion rates because we're able to direct shoppers to a subcategory or to the right product right in the search box. We can bypass the search results page. So this example that you see here, this is showing the auto suggest that pops up when you start typing in our search bar. I think you only have to type 3 characters and then this starts to populate. So this helps the shopper narrow down their query, drill straight into relevant subcategories or brands. And we're also able to showcase the most popular products related to that query. And this it totally skips the search results page. And the fewer steps to get to the product, that's a key component in a great customer experience on your site. So our third way is our merchandising. We're very data-driven. We're very nimble with our merchandising. We've got a very small team. So it's really, really important that our merchandising platform is able to help us scale our efforts. So some of the areas that we like to merchandise products are around brand promos, seasonal offerings or specials that we might have, closeout items, and new products. Those are our top 4 focuses with merchandising. And it really would not work for us if I needed to go through my IT team or bring in my front-end developer every time I needed to merchandise something. Marketing, we need to be able to do this on our own. And we also need granular analytics to understand what's working, what's not working. And Google Analytics, as powerful as it is, it really doesn't work at this level. So our merchandising focuses on showcasing relevant products to shoppers. And there are several use cases where this is a vital function of the platform. So since by default, our catalog pages and our search pages, they have default sorts. I think the catalog is sorted by most popular, and I think the search pages are sorted by most relevant. But that means new products that just come in, they're often buried, on the last page of the results because they're not, they don't rank yet as far as popular goes. A lot of times we'll work with one of our brands that we carry. They might want to do periodic promotions and lift some of their products higher up on a category page. Maybe we'll have excess inventory. Our products have really big margins that we want to call attention to. There's no way to really do this easily in our platform. The Unbxd merchandising workbench, it enables us to set rules. So we can boost products to bring them up to the top of search results. We can pin or slot products so that they're in specific locations on the category page or the search page. And then we can also apply promotional banners for products on selected pages. And then another way that we merchandise is to completely bypass the search result pages completely. And then we just redirect customers straight to the product they're looking for, the category that applies, or maybe a separate landing page. So, for example, if you do a search on our site for tactical pants, it completely skips the search results page, and it takes you straight to the category tactical pants. So we're not relying on an algorithm to populate the products. It understands, oh, they're looking for something, and there's a category for this. You do a search on the site for shipping rate, and it'll take you right to our shipping page. So it's that, again, that fewer clicks to get to the product. And then the last way is that we use technology to put our catalog together. So we're a mid-size retailer. Our catalog is growing, like I told you, about 100 products per week. We have data spread across a lot of different systems. And a structured and clean catalog, that, having that data structured and clean, that's a foundation for effective search and navigation on the site. But I will be honest, our data is anything but structured and clean. It's come in, it was dumped in from Magento, it wasn't cleaned up, and we've spent several years trying to clean it up, but it's still, it's not clean. And we really don't have time to do these complex migration projects or trying to clean it up. We're a fast-moving company. So there's a few tools that we rely on the back end that deliver a really great experience on the front end. So all of our products live in BigCommerce, but like I said, the data is not clean. So just to give you a quick example on product color, there's some limitations in BigCommerce around product options. So when you go to a product page and you want to choose the color of the item and the size, there's some limitations around those options. So because of that color, we have 14 different option sets where color might live, depending on the product category you're looking at. And then we have products that are only available in one color. So color is not even an option. It only comes in black. So then the color might be in the product name. Another example might be gender. If we have a product that is available in men's and women's versions, we actually have those versions separated out on the site. They don't live as one product where you choose your gender. We have a men's version and a women's version. So women's or men's not being an option, it lives in the name of the product. So pulling all this data together, combining all these color option sets and parsing the product name and looking through the description, we had to use a third-party feed. So we use Data Feed Watch, and that helps us kind of condense all this data together and put it into a feed that Unbxd can use. And then another system that we use is Yotpo, and that pseudos our reviews and ratings. And Unbxd is able to pull in the ratings into our catalog pages and the search results pages, and it displays the stars, the little rating stars for each product. So that's really, really important that information is coming through and being shown to our shoppers, because ratings can be directly correlated to conversion. We really wanted those displayed. And then, since our catalog lives in BigCommerce, there's a lot of other data that Unbxd is pulling through the BigCommerce API, but it's not really in any sort of customer-friendly data set. The way it comes through is not really useful on the front end. So here's an example of that. So this is, these are the facets where people can drill down in the search results or in a category grid. They can drill down to the products they want. But you see here we've got 3 sections highlighted: category, type, and origin. So these 3 components are actually, they all live in the same field in BigCommerce, so they're all mixed together. And they're actually just categories. So Unbxd is able to dynamically segment these, and they create logical custom filters. So they take this data that's all mixed together, and then this is what you see. So they separate out the category as boots. The type, which is actually, these are just more categories, but the type of boot: hiking boot, hunting boot, weather boot. And then the origin. This was real important for our customers because a lot of times they're restricted on, what they can purchase. Maybe it has to be made in the USA. So they're able to pull this data out as well. So there's nothing unique about these in the back end that would separate them from each other. And Unbxd is able, they put logic in place, pull them apart, and it's useful for our customers. So this is what happened. As I told you, it's much bigger than 2%. we've been on Unbxd for 14 months now, and we have seen a 33% increase in our revenue that comes from site search, 21% increase in revenue per session where search is used, and then a 22% increase in the conversion rate where search is used. And we noticed an immediate improvement in conversions and revenue from search. I would say probably within 2 weeks, we had data that made us sit up and really take notice. And, there was so much improvement that we actually wanted to try to find a way to encourage our visitors to use the search instead of navigating on the site. You spend so much time developing your site and worrying about navigation, and we're trying to drive them to the search bar. So we did some A/B testing, started playing around with it. We found out we made it larger, we put a border around it, and then when the page loads, your cursor is actually in the search box. So this increased the frequency of search, I want to say by about 15%. So it definitely improved the number of people using search. So I'd highly encourage you to try to funnel your visitors down this path of using search. It's a much higher driver of customer satisfaction and ultimately conversions.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany. That was really enlightening. And so we want to take a quick poll. So talking about making the experience on your site as customer-friendly as possible to drive conversions, we are actually offering a custom product discovery analysis to our attendees today, free of cost. The study will cover various issues that are disrupting the buyer's journey on your site and give you action points to improve your site search experience. So here's the poll question for you all. Would you like Unbxd to conduct a free custom analysis of the state of site search and product discovery on your e-commerce site? The only answer is yes. I will just give everybody 10, 20 seconds and we'll close the poll. Okay? All right. So in our experience, shoppers behave very differently when shopping across different verticals. For example, fashion e-commerce, it's all about product discovery and merchandising. Versus B2B customers, on the other hand, need to find products very quickly that they're looking for and to get in and get out. Unbxd site search is verticalized with features that adapt to that particular e-commerce vertical out of the box. Here, average conversion rates and search revenue growth that retailers see with Unbxd site search. As you can see on the screen, furniture, home decor, fashion, B2B, mass merchant, or catalog. Double-digit increases in conversions and double-digit increases in search revenue. So let's talk a little bit about how Unbxd's technology actually works. So the text match or pattern match techniques that many solutions out there today use are actually quite outdated now and obviously come with a lot of limitations. The problem with these techniques is that they do not care about analyzing the intent of the search query. They depend on techniques like anding, oring, which try to find the exact search query in the product catalog and end up offering a suboptimal experience. This is why many times you will see even irrelevant results show up. These techniques work to a great extent for simple one-word queries, which usually form about 20% of a site's total queries. But the more searchable attributes you add to the catalog, the more complicated it becomes. Remaining long-tail queries on the site require a lot of manual optimization, which definitely becomes a challenge as you begin to scale to a very large number of queries. So Unbxd is a self-learning platform that scales easily with a growing catalog, and the most important thing, our machine learning site search technology understands buyers' search intent better with query classification techniques. This means that the system can identify the product type from its attributes. So for the query, say Logitech black wireless keyboard, it breaks it into product type as the keyword, black as the color attribute, and so on. The weightage scores for the product type and its attributes are already defined in our algorithms. That's why you will never see a mouse or a desktop appearing for a query that says keyboard for the product type. The ranking of products on search results pages is also based on their weighted scores, with the highest scorers being on the top. These weighted scores also considers a lot of behavioral factors on the site, like click-throughs, add to carts, product sales, etc. As a result, the most relevant products show in the first fold, resulting in dramatically higher conversions and click-through rates. And irrelevant products are completely excluded from the results page. To improve our understanding of search intent on e-commerce sites even more and deliver a more context-aware search, we also started developing our product based on the 12 query types identified by Baymard on top e-commerce sites. Now, our engine allows you to understand the type of query and has a separate algorithm to find results for each of these query types. What this really means is that when a user searches for a wireless keyboard, our search understands that the intent of the customer is to purchase a keyboard which is wireless, which is a favorable attribute. So the search will only display results for keyboards and not just anything that includes the word wireless. For example, our system will not show any results for wireless mouse, etc. And this is what acts as a key differentiator when you look at some of the other search providers in the market. At Unbxd, we strive to deliver context-aware e-commerce search, which means that our machine learning engine is constantly learning and optimizing search on your site to make it more relevant. We utilize the power of multiple machine learning algorithms to crawl the web and draw insights from a global catalog for specific verticals. This helps our algorithms to adapt the nuances of the language for your specific industry, decipher the search intent of the queries better, and deliver relevant results. This also helps the system identify patterns in the collected data and shopper behavior on the site that helps us maintain our built-in synonym corpus. As a result, we can recognize stemmed words, misspellings, synonyms, etc., which is adopted and implemented automatically by the system without any human intervention. So how can you really evaluate site search, especially site search technology? I'll turn to Gartner, who recently published a framework on this. Gartner has identified the 8 parameters that you see on your screen. If you are evaluating advanced site search technology, it is important to evaluate against these 8 parameters. For example, the relevance tuning, extremely important. Merchandising, which probably allows you campaign management or maybe even A/B testing within the campaign management. Geolocation-based search, personalization, NLP, so natural language processing. RESTful APIs to make sure that you can do the implementation both on the back end and through the front end. SEO management and multilingual. We're also happy to announce that Unbxd features on Gartner's 2017 Market Guide for Digital Commerce Search. All right, so now that I've taken you through our product and technology, I just wanted to do a quick poll. Would you like Unbxd to do a deeper custom one-to-one product demo for you as well? And again, the answer is only yes. We'll give everybody 20 seconds and then I think we'll be ready for a Q&A session. All right. Awesome. So Tiffany and I are happy to take up any audience questions now. So let's see, what do we have so far?
Okay, so we've got a few questions coming through, and we definitely encourage all of our attendees to send through any questions while we're kind of running through that some have come through during today's discussion already. All right, so this first one reads, Tiffany mentioned the improvement in revenue contribution from site search. Did they see an overall increase in revenue for the site, and would you be able to quantify that as a percent increase?
That's a good question. We absolutely did see overall revenue increase on the site. It's really hard, though, to separate out how much of it was driven directly from search versus the, because we added a lot of things to the site at once. We added the category facets, the merchandising, and search. If you want to share your email address, I'd be happy to look into that, and I can shoot you an email with some numbers.
All right, excellent. Okay. This next question reads, what metrics can be used to analyze the success of site search?
I can take that, Tiffany. So typically, from a business perspective, you obviously want to look at the site search conversion, because ultimately, after all the optimization that you're doing, you want to make sure that the solution you're adding to your site is creating more revenue for you. So site search conversion is absolutely important. The next one that everybody also looks at is to gauge the effectiveness of the product, whether it be Unboxd or anything else. You might want to look at search exit rates. So if the percentage search exits go down, then the product is doing its job, especially from search, because then the results that are being shown are very relevant. So those two are the most important metrics that we measure.
Okay, wonderful. So moving on to the next question. Is Unboxd compatible with Magento to Enterprise? If so, how about, I guess, API or other extensions?
I got it. Unbxd is definitely compatible with Magento 2.0, and we do it both ways. We have a plugin, and we can also do it through an API. If adding a plugin creates a lot of conflicts within Magento for you guys, because you have tons of other plugins, then API integration is also possible. And we also have a third approach where we take the catalog through a different route, and the integration of the search is also done through the front end. So we have 3 different ways of integrating through for any other platform, not just Magento.
Wonderful. And we have a question asking, how long did Unboxd implementation take?
Tiffany, if I'm not wrong, yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we did it in stages. Trying to remember what we did first. I think I want to say it was probably about 4 weeks to get the search and the facets up and running. And then from there, we've done some tweaking. Some of this machine learning, Unboxd had to be running on the site for a while to gather data. Also for things like product popularity and recommended for use. They also power our recommendations. So they had to be up on the site and running for a little while before we could implement some of it. But for search and the filters, I would say it's probably about 4 weeks.
Okay, great. All right. This next question, how long does it take for site search to start showing improved conversions?
Got it. So I can take that. No, I was going to just say what Tiffany answered. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Yeah, we saw improvements right away. I mean, we were using Google Analytics to track the results, and it was probably within 2 weeks that we saw a measurable increase. And then we've been A/B testing different things and trying different things over the past 14 months, and it's just been improving a little bit. Every time we make a change, it grows a little bit, but we saw a big improvement right away.
Excellent. Okay, let's read out this next question. Is it possible to A/B test existing versus Unboxd site search?
I'll take that, Tiffany. So yes, it is possible to A/B test existing versus Unboxd site search if you have some sort of an A/B testing platform like Optimizely, Visual Web Optimizer, or even Monetate. That's certainly possible. In case you don't have an A/B testing tool, we also perform a before and after test. So there's a couple of different ways to test out the efficiency of the product. Yep.
Okay, great. And we've got a pretty lengthy question here. Let me just make sure I've got it correctly. Are there any issues or impacts or considerations in Unboxd implementation or performance if you're working with larger catalogs, specifically greater than the one that you had described in the use case? They were saying, example, of 6 million or even 60 million SKUs.
Certainly not. So we have a few retailers that we work with where the catalog, especially in the auto industry, where the fitment catalog can get up to 167 million products and combinations. So we have no issues working with very large catalogs. Currently, we have a few retailers that we work with where the catalogs are around 10 million. And some very large auto parts and some marketplaces where the catalog can get up to roughly around just shy of 100 million products, and auto was roughly around 167 million products.
Excellent. Okay. So at this time, I kind of just wanted to open up the floor to both of you, to our two speakers. If there's any closing statements that you want to give to our attendees today, the floor is yours.
Tiffany, you want to go first?
Sure. Well, I was actually very honored to be asked to do this. We've worked with Unbxd now for a little over a year, and their team is very, very responsive. And I actually attended a webinar about a year and a half ago, and that's how I discovered Unbxd. And everything that they've shown, we've been able to do. So we didn't feel like there was any sort of smoke and mirrors. The technology is fast, it works really well, and we've definitely had really good results.
Well, thank you, Tiffany. We also are extremely proud of the work we've done with US Patriot and the opportunity that we were given. And what we wanted to do today was essentially showcase the experience that Tiffany had, that US Patriot had through Unbxd. And we're absolutely proud to present this to all our attendees to share in the same experience. And all we ask in return is if you guys have the opportunity for us to help and come out and talk to you guys, give us the opportunity. That's all we're asking for. Give us access to that opportunity so we can come out and help you guys. And thank you for attending today. We really appreciate your presence.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much. And just to hop into a few little housekeeping things to close out this webinar, I just wanted to just thank you guys for attending and participating in the session, for completing the polls. And there's a few questions that did come through that, as Tiffany mentioned, we would definitely want to follow up with and expand upon. Even if there's questions that we kind of just want to continue on with the conversation, we will definitely follow up with you after the closing of this webinar. We do have a survey set up within On24 as soon as you close out of here. It's 2 questions that's going to pop up on your screen. One is just asking for, on a scale of 1 to 5, how do we do today? And the second question is actually just a text field that we definitely encourage you guys to go in and leave responses, comments, suggested topics. What did you like about today's discussion? What would you like to see in future discussions? We can only make these webinars better and better with your help. The presentation is going to be available on demand, and I will also have a copy of the slides set up for you guys there. I know there was a little bit of a glitch at the very beginning with a couple of the slides, so I want to make sure that that's all smoothed out for you and you have no trouble with that. You don't have to write down any of the information except for what's on your screen currently, our contact information. We're going to be sending you these emails from On24, so you don't have to be aware of any of that. Just keep a lookout in your inbox for the information coming from us. Thanks again, everyone, for attending, and to our amazing speakers for hosting this webinar today. From Unbxd, US Patriot, the e-tail team here at Worldwide Business Research, thank you so much, everyone, and I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your day. And until the next webinar.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.